Hi there, I'm Max King, and it's 2024, and what better way to celebrate than looking back at 2023 and counting down the top 10 best movies of the year. As with my top 5 worst list, these won't be full reviews. I have reviewed each of these on this channel, and I will also be combining straight to streaming with my normal review show of reviewing movies that have been released in theaters. Without further ado, let's just dive straight in with number 10, Godzilla Minus One. This was my first Japanese Godzilla movie in theaters, and it might be one of the best Godzilla movies ever made. And honestly, it's not just a great Godzilla movie, it is a good movie, period. If you haven't seen a Godzilla movie, this might just be a good introduction for you. Number 9, The Creator. Original science fiction is hard to come by nowadays, and let alone original science fiction that is compelling, and this film manages to do both. The concepts that this film talks about are one that I can talk about for hours on end, and I absolutely enjoy dissecting. Add some great characters, and you got a wonderful film. Number 8, They Cloned Tyrone. This film was highly unexpected for me. This film is one of the 2 straight-to-streaming movies on this list, and it's really fun, really original, and it has some great performances. I really enjoyed this film, and I really highly recommend it as far as films that were released to straight to streaming this year. Number 7, Asteroid City. Asteroid City. Well, Wes Anderson did it again. And let's face it, I'm a Wes Anderson fan, so this film was kind of always going to be on this list, and he hit it out of the park with this one. The more I think about this film, the better it gets. It has some wonky characters, some original storytelling, and a film that has so much layers to it that every time you think about it, there's more to unpack than you ever thought possible. Number 6, Evil Dead Rise. I'm an Evil Dead fan, and this film is definitely one of the best films in the franchise by far. It's a good, simple horror movie executed perfectly. And in a year where horror movies were just overcomplicated and were executed rather poorly, it's nice to see a film that still knows how to scare people. And I think this film still makes me uncomfortable when I watch it sometimes. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Number 5, A Day and a Half. Well, this is the second straight-to-streaming movie and the last one on the straight-to-streaming to make it into the top 10. And oh boy, what a film this one was. It had me on the edge of my seat, and I absolutely love the intensity that this film manages to bring with such a simple concept as a hostage situation where anything could go wrong. Number 4, Poor Things. One of the most recent films I've reviewed this year, and it was, well, really good. It has a simple premise about a woman going through her own journey of self-discovery, but it's done in such a unique and interesting way with some wonderful, quirky performances that you have to see this film to believe it. Number 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Proof that good comic book movies can still be made. I really loved Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, so this film really had big shoes to fill, and luckily it manages to do that. It manages to expand upon the already growing Spider-Verse and manages to deliver a interesting story with great characters and wonderful visuals that just manage to capture the imagination. The only reason this film isn't number 2 for the record is because there's one plot point that bugs me. And it's just such a small nitpick, but it keeps it from the top 2. Speaking of the top 2, number 2, Suzume. Oh, dear God, Suzume. This was the first film of the year where I got out of the movie theater and had to take a deep breath because of how much this film just locked me in emotionally. And I absolutely could not, anticipate what this film was going to do. I really enjoy the story here, and I think it's definitely better than the director's others works, like Weathering with You and Your Name. I believe it eclipses those, and those films were not bad by any definition of the word. This film is a wonderfully beautiful experience, and I absolutely enjoyed that I got to see it in theaters. But there was one film that stood atop and just looked down throughout the entirety of the year as nothing was able to come near to it. Once this film was released, there was no touching it. And that film was Oppenheimer. Yeah, I know this is pretty much expected. A lot of people are going to have Oppenheimer near the number one, but I cannot stress this film is an absolute masterpiece. The characters are perfectly developed. It has all practical effects. The story is so intriguing. The performances are absolutely amazing. And it is absolutely spectacular what Nolan was able to bring as a director to this film. I cannot stress this enough. If you have not seen Oppenheimer, find a way to see it. Buy it on Blu-ray. Watch it on streaming. This film needs to be watched. It is amazing and it is an absolute masterpiece. When I say nothing came close to this one, I mean literally none of the movies in the top 10 even came close to taking the one spot away from this movie. And I absolutely stand by this film 100%. I suspect that when Oscar season rolls around, it will walk away with a few statues, if not the statue for Best Picture. And I really cannot stress this enough. This film deserves every praise that it is getting. Anyway, that's my top 10 movies of 2023. What did you think were the best films of 2023? Did I not mention a great film that you loved? Well, let me know about it in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I want to continue to grow this channel, and your support will help me. And we'll see you in the rest of 2024, as we hopefully get some really good films this year, and hopefully, maybe even some better films than we had in the previous year. Who knows? See you then!